I really shouldn't do that on this box, but today we have some very cool equipment. Thank you to Lens Protogo for sending this out. You guys know what it is from the title, but you don't, so...
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice light.
So this is the Canon 85 1.2. It's kind of a legend of a lens, but you can see why it has the nickname of being the grapefruit lens. It's mainly famous, I think, because at the time it was the only, and it still is one of the only, 85 f1.2s that's autofocus. But I actually don't think the image quality is that special. Yes, the blur is lovely thanks to the f1.2, but the rest of it I don't think performs that well. But it's huge and it's expensive. At the moment, I think this is $1,800 or $1,900. This is the new 85 1.2 RF for mirrorless.
So
for those
secretive.
people who like mirrorless because they're so small and compact, boom.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so it's the same focal length, a shorter flange distance, which apparently can allow for smaller and more optically improved lens design. There you go. But it gets even crazier once you see the respective bodies. So it was always a joke. Rewind a couple of years ago before mirrorless took off, and it was like, oh my god, look at that gargantuan lens on that body. And it is a big lens on a standard size body, and it's heavy. So that is in total $4,650 combo with the 5D Mark IV, its current pricing. This is their current top-of-the-line mirrorless. That's the EOS R. And this combo, with its current pricing, is $4,700. So it's almost identical in price. But look at the size disparity. The body is 50% smaller, the lens is 50% larger. It's a total mismatch in terms of size and weight.
I think this is heavier.
Yeah, but let's see how they actually perform. My money is definitely on the new combo.
Whenever I get a big camera, I just feel like it's a gun.
Wait, how tall am I? Sure?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, Jesus!
Didn't drop it.
Nailed it!
Before we jump into this, folks, jump on over to macgranger.com/workshops. You can check out all the different tours and workshops. It's okay. Steph and I are coming to London in early August to run 2 different workshops, and we also run them in Chicago and New York, and who knows, maybe Tokyo and Singapore. So, yeah,
That'd be awesome.
Check it out, as well as all the tours I run around the world. Now let's check these guys out. Okay, now to be fair, the 85 1.2, it is a good lens, it just doesn't deserve the legendary status that it's been given, I think. And both lenses balance okay with the body, it's not ideal, but just keep in mind that neither of the bodies or lenses have stabilization built in, so you're going to want a faster shutter speed than you otherwise would with a mirrorless camera. I found this out the hard way, getting a few shots a little softer than expected, even when shooting well above the reciprocal rule. Let's start out by just doing some simple test shots wide open and at about f2, f2.8 to get everything firing in studio before we head out. Alright, so I have both of the cameras here, matching lenses, matching settings, RAW and JPEG capture. I've got some Nissan flashes here. I'm going to do just a couple of test shots in studio, make sure everything's firing, we're getting repeatable results. Then we'll head outside and shoot with them some more to see, as well as how's the sharpness, also how's the foreground and background blur, vignetting, aberrations. This is such a beast, it's ridiculous. I have to say, it kind of holds okay. Obviously it's front heavy, but the grip is nice. The Canon is one of the best in terms of ergonomics, I think, of the new breed of mirrorless. Probably about the same as the Nikon, miles ahead of the Sonys. Cue the angry Sony army. He's a good performer there.
People outside with pitchforks and like...
Burn him! So as I said, we just shot and shot away, shot some off-camera flash, some on-camera flash. Here's a few samples I'll just put on screen, the camera info and metadata, so you can read it for yourself. Next up, found this ivy covered building to shoot some shots with foreground and background blur. Nice fun, quick little setup. Both cameras kind of struggled with white balance in this overcast day that was also in the shade, but here's some of the resulting images. Now here's the power of a 1.2 lens. Check it out.
Good?
So that's fully stopped down and wide open.
Whoa, what? It disappeared.
So both lenses did that beautifully well. It's not something you typically need to do, but you see the light stand in the back and the vine in the front just disappear. So a simple way, you can still get really harsh shots. This is a bright sunny day. Just step 2 foot that way for me. And now turn to me. So here we're getting some nice little bokeh off the car headlights. But as soon as I step into the shade, we get all of that hard light off her face. That means I'm gonna need to bring the overall exposure up, but by going down low, I can fill it with the trees in the background and get a beautiful soft look. Or we can still get the cars in and get some bokeh balls in there. It was a really hot day, so we stopped in for some ice cream like you need any excuse. I got Steph the one she wanted, then ordered an extra one that was more colorful to grab a quick photo.
Oh, that is pretty.
Really any excuse to get a shot. Of course, she totally disappears once you open up to f1.2. Next, we stepped out onto a short boulevard that had trees on either side to see how it blurred those out. You'll note as we stop down from 1.2 to about f2, both of them, the vignetting clears up quite a lot. Now I'm just back from Cuba. Check the card above to see the first video from that trip. I brought back a couple of cigars. Steph took a couple of shots on each camera to see if she could keep my eye in focus. Now the face tracking made it a lot easier on the EOS R, but neither can disguise the fact that I'm not really a smoker. You get that?
I did. Is this one okay? Oh, wait.
Perfect. Okay, stepping back in studio, threw up a studio light real quick and tested both of these lenses at f4 and f8. Just a really simple one light setup. Now, of course, at these apertures, both lenses are performing beautifully well. We'll take a bit more of a look at the wide open shots in a moment. Okay, couple of thank yous. Firstly, thank you, Steph, for coming up. Always fun.
Of course.
Thank you to Lens Protego for sending both of these rigs out as well. Fun to compare them side by side. Next, I'm going to show you some more images and talk you through my thoughts on them. But it's a great way to compare gear or try gear out that you're thinking about buying, or just rent it in for an important shoot. Get it in for a weekend, do a ton of shooting, see if it's worth your money. A great way to do it, if you use the code GEAROUT15 at checkout with them, you'll get 15% off your order. There's no kickback for me on that. It's just my way of thanking them and thanking you guys. It's a great service. So now I'll let you head back down to Philly and we'll take a look at some images. Wait, I'm going for barbecue.
Yeah, I was going to say, are we going to go for barbecue?
Every time. Yes.
Yes.
So take a look in the description below, folks. You can get a link to go download a pack of these files to check them out for yourself. I think it's fair to say that the new lens is definitely performing a lot better wide open. The sharp areas are much sharper and more contrasty. Even by f1.4 and 1.6, you're getting really beautiful results, whereas on the older one, you'd want to stop down to at least f2 to really consider the sharp areas getting close to their best performance. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you soon.